Welcome! This video is for your Week 13 Key Signatures assignment in Noteflight. If you've opened up the PDF document, you'll see that the whole first page is just a little overview of key signatures. If you scroll down, you'll find your assignment directions on page 2 and 3, so make sure you read through those as you work, just so you don't miss anything. I'm going to go ahead and move over to Noteflight. I've already given my composition a title that uses the word key signatures, and I've put my name in the composer box. I also set sharing is set to anyone can view the score, or to shared when I set up the score. Next I'm going to click on the bottom staff, click on staff and then remove staff since we only need one staff for this assignment. I'm going to click on the remaining staff. We're going to change instrument and we are going to use flute specifically for this assignment, so make sure you click on flute and don't pick a different instrument. And then the next step is that I need to select all four measures here because we're going to change the key signature. If I only select the first measure, like I have right now, it's only going to change the key signature for the first measure that I have selected. So to select multiple measures, I'm going to press Shift on the keyboard, and then I can click the remaining four measures. You can also select the first measure, press Shift on the keyboard, and then click the last measure, and it will select everything in between. So I'm going to come up to Staff, change key signature, and I'm choosing the key of D. You can choose any key that you want except C because that's the default key and I want you to choose something different. So I'm going to choose the key of D. It will give me my key signature at the beginning, so with an F sharp and a C sharp. And then I'm going to go ahead and start composing. I can write whatever I want except my first and last note have to be a D since I'm using the key of D. So I'll write a D. If I'm going to write any F sharps or C sharps, I don't need to click the sharp sign because that's already actually included in the key signature. And you actually don't use any other sharps or flats in this composition. So for example, don't use a B flat if you're in the key of D, just because we're only going to use the sharps or flats that are in the key signature. I'm going to finish my composition. I'll pause the video and be right back. Okay, so I finished my composition. I did add some dynamics, and I did those by clicking on the note. I clicked on the expression text and then I typed in the dynamic I wanted, like mezzo forte I typed in MF, and then if you hit enter it pops up in the fancy music text. So, okay, the next thing you need to do is to add four more measures. So I'm going to click on the plus sign that's inside the little teardrop thingy and do that 4 times, so I have 4 more measures. And then we're going to copy what we've already written over to those next 4 measures. So same thing, you're going to click on one measure, hit Shift on the keyboard, and select all of your measures. You can go up and copy, and then select those next 4 measures again with Shift on the keyboard, and paste. And you'll see your exact composition is copied now down to the second line. So if you accidentally unselect, you will need to reselect everything because the next thing we're going to do is change the key signature of this new part that you just pasted in. So how do I know what I want to change this to? Well, something to keep in mind, remember you're writing this for a beginning flute player. Now, every instrument has a range. It can only go so high or so low. Same thing with people singing. People can only sing so high or so low. So we want to change this to fit within the range of what a beginning flutist could play. So I can see here the lowest note that they could play is an F on the treble clef staff. The highest thing is a C on 2 ledger lines above the staff. So I'm going to come back to my composition and go up to change key signature. And let's try B flat. Now the next thing you'll notice that happens is the key signature changes but the notes don't. So this is where you can come down to transpose, and you can either go up a scale step or down a scale step. Well, obviously my first note's a D. I need it to be at least an F, so I'm going to have to go up scale step. And I'm actually going to do this until my first and last notes, remember back here in the key of D that they were a D, I switched to the key of B flat. I need to do this until they're a B flat. Now, your easy keyboard shortcut is to just use the up arrows or the down arrows on the keyboard to move your notes up or down if you want. So, and I actually moved up 1 too far, so I'm going to come back and click down scale step, or the down arrow would work on the keyboard. So I look through this, okay, I don't have any notes lower than an F, but I do actually have a note that's higher than the C2 ledger lines above the staff. So this is where, let's see, I'm going to choose a different key signature. How about A flat? So now instead of, let's see, I need not a B flat at the beginning, I need an A flat at the beginning, so I'll hit the down arrow on the keyboard. But you know what, I haven't changed it yet, so it's not going to let me do that, so I have to come over to the menu. So my composition now starts and ends with an A flat. It's in the key of A flat. The highest note's a C, so that looks like it's good to go.